So I'd like to preface this video by stating that it's important to respect everyone's ideals, perspectives, and experiences when it comes to having their own pups, often considered loved ones in a social environment. As we'll state later on in the video, not everyone goes to the park to socialize. Some just let their pups use the bathroom off leash. Some run around and play with other pups that they know and expect to be there. Some families trying out the social environment for their first time with a younger puppy or a new rescue. And some are trying to get their shy pup out there to make new friends. Some may be coming in from out of town, just stopping by while visiting friends or family, and some may be regulars that live there and expect to see the same situation day in and day out. Whatever the case may be, it's important to be considerate and to help with engagements when possible, unsure, or nervous, or anxious. Some are more competent owners through experience, some are newer and may be more apprehensive, and then some may also be very aware of their own pup's personality and mannerisms, whereas others may misinterpret their behaviors. No person is perfect, no pup is perfect, and even those with the best of social skills may need help adjusting to new environments and experiences. One usually common thing is that we love our pups and we want what's best for them. With that being said, please enjoy the video and feel free to leave any comments or questions down below for discussion. Is it too loose?
Should I tighten it a little?
Yeah, it has to be, especially once we get into the vibrate, it should be pretty snug on there.
Okay. How about that?
Let me see. No, see, I can get like 4 fingers in there. Go ahead and mix up even more. Go ahead and give that a try.
Good boy.
If you need to, you can bait him with having him sit for a treat first, so that way he's not distracted and moving away from you.
How about that?
Okay, let me see. A little bit better. We'll see how it triggers now. So we're just waiting for him to... There you go. Right. So you can see here that it's working, which is good. The beep is going off, but there's nothing, deterring him. But it's good though. He's still kind of refocusing back onto you anyway, so I'd go ahead and keep rewarding that. If you don't have treats, you got some.
No, sorry, I just have the one.
That's okay.
I should have brought more.
That's all right. You might need to break those in half. Okay. But what we'll do here... Hey, how you doing? So now this will beep and vibrate. Hi, how you doing? Might need to hold on to him. No, you can go in first. We're going to be practicing, seeing how sensitive he is to this anti-bark collar. Oh, that's good. Here, I'll hold him for you. There you go.
Thank you.
This is why you're adjusting the sensitivity to probably even lower too when other dogs are barking, so it doesn't trigger it as well.
What's your problem? Step. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so go ahead and let him go. So now we'll see if he, once he starts barking, if the addition of the vibrate on top of the beep will do anything. Like some pups will just blow right through it too. Good.
Sit.
And in the meantime, what we do is we get to just focus on promoting the positive behavior, right? So when he redirects and he stops barking and comes back to us, we just give him the treats and the rewards.
So let me ask you a question though. So this dog is behaving rather aggressively at this stage.
It's always hard to tell when, especially when, there you go. Okay. It's always hard to tell when there's like a barrier, right? Because right now and he does about the same, right? It could be, instead of the word aggressive, I would say the word intense, right? Or fixated, right? Because his body is relaxed and his tail is wagging and he's not continuously barking and trying to eat at him through the gate, right? I wouldn't consider it aggressive. I can see where a lot of parents make that distinction. Like I said, a lot of the times we accidentally mistake intensity for aggression, right? So now that there's less intensity, does it seem like he's still aggressive?
No.
Right. So that's just something to take into consideration when you're going to a new dog park and things like that, what to look for, and what we evaluate to. And usually also just taking the time to see how they interact with other pups. Are they just as intense with other pups and then they kind of calm down? Is it because is it because they're meeting somebody new and he's also reciprocating by barking? There's a lot of different factors that go in that, so long as you just start extending that time of the greet, you get to kind of get to see more of what the situation is, as opposed to just like that snapshot of what it might look like, whether good or bad. Most people are more apprehensive when it looks intense, but that could also be deceiving too, because it could be like intense for just that moment and then calm throughout. But it'd be better to kind of analyze the situation as opposed to the opposite, where you get like a false sense of security because none of the other dogs, right, are barking and focusing, but once you go in, there may be complications there, right? As you can kind of see here, she's also just working herself up. There you go. And he's just kind of working. So here, yeah, now, right, you can see that vibration. Go ahead and give it to him, because he's doing it because he's barking because he wants your attention, right? Because he sees that you have a treat, right? So go ahead and take that off for him for now. But it is good to know that it does register, right? Hey, how are you doing? Oh, we were just testing out the bark collar and giving time for things to settle in. Also, I was waiting for you guys, and then I also forgot my phone. So there was a bunch of reasons why we're still out here. No, everybody seems pretty good. Is that the only possible escalation would probably be between these guys and that guy, because he gets so worked up, and then he works up the other pups with the barking, right? But I was just telling her too, once he doesn't just fixate and continue to bark at them, right? He kind of calms down and refocuses. So it really just depends on how the pup reacts too. Come on in. Yeah, go ahead and come on in. You want to go ahead and come over here with Sonah too?
All right, come on, let me get your thing off.
It's okay to let Cici go in the park.
It'll probably be the most distracted right now. So, right? So you can kind of see here, like she starts barking and then he reacts, right? As opposed to him barking at her and then she reacts, right?
Sage. 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 Ow. Sage.
Good boy.
Good boy.
And in situations like this, it's easier to either clear up further away or move them further back out of the green zone, right? Good boy. If you want, you can just come in with her. That way you can take her off leash. Well, it's also because he's barking too, and it's the same thing that's happening here with this guy. You know, they're just so excited they can't actually get to one another, right? So all I'm doing is waiting to see, let these guys get settled in. This guy's a little unsure, letting her kind of get settled in with these two. And then once the pitty or their owner kind of unfixates and goes back to the rest of the group, then we'll just go in, right? Because we want at least the point of down.
Sage.
Go ahead and, yeah, there you go.
What's that fruits in my pocket? I need to get rid
That's probably why. I have some too, so we might have to jettison them off to the other side. There you go. So go ahead and ask him to sit. Because he's just focused on you because of the treats, make sure you give him a command as opposed to just you telling him what not to do. There you go. And then give him the treat or something. Yeah.
Good. Good boy.
Good.
Good.
So now when he wants to pop back up for it, that's when you correct him, and then you tell him again to sit. So now watch. Now when he's about to pop up again, tell him to... Good? Sage. Right? And with this, it's very like momentary, right? And it kind of extends itself because they're both through the gate. But you can see Cici went in there without any issues, right? Like Cici's over there without any issues. So that's how you also know that a lot of it is just because this fencing is here, right? We don't know if it's only because the fencing is here, because we still have that variable in play, right? That's why, especially before you go in, it's best that they still get time to settle down and they both kind of shift gears down.
Sonah.
The other thing that concerns me is just the fact that their owner is so complacent over there, right? And not trying to pull them away or redirect them in any way. So that's where you may also have to take into consideration if a conflict or escalation occurs, then you would also probably have to step in much sooner because you're here at the point of entry where everything is going on and the other owner is still all the way over there, right? Yep.
Wait, so is she okay going in?
Oh.
Hi, Princess. Hello. Hi, Princess. Hi. Oh, you're seeing Caesar.
Hi. Oh, good girl. So stick close to her in case anything does happen, because we know that she could escalate situations as well. But she just looks like she's having a good time. Good girl. Hi, Sonah. All right. So, if we can get back together with her, it'll be good too, so I can try to discuss both things, because you're both kind of unsure situations, right?
Sonah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sonah, come. Cici, come. Come on.
No, that's fine. They had good intentions, but they're too intense in not listening to Sonah's corrections, which would in turn be what causes an escalation. So just needing to separate them is all. You can let her go. It's okay. Hi. Your pup is fine. It's just that she's very intense with Sonah, and Sonah can like take things the wrong way. Yeah. So that's why just stepping in to kind of give them the break. If like he doesn't, if she doesn't listen to Sonah or see that she's overwhelming her, right? That's all. I was just telling them too. It's not that she's aggressive or anything. She's just very intense and she's very friendly.
She needs work for sure. But she's a puppy. She just turned 8 months, so she just.
It's that impulse control and lack of like socializing.
Yeah.
As well as like just being super excited. Like I said, temperament wise, it's great because she's just very friendly. But it's just like, yeah. But
Are you? Do you have any?
Hi. Maybe.
She's cute.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna let you down, okay? Tyson, leave it.
It's fine. She's just
Tyson. I know, but I don't need no pet parent getting mad because my dog wanna. Tyson.
It's okay. She's just overwhelmed. See? So sometimes, like, especially with the leash or like picking her up and like separating them, almost makes them want to engage more, right?
Yeah. We're gonna get going anyway. We've been here for like 2 hours.
Aw. And she's still that high pup, huh?
Well, so when we first got here, it was just one other dog.
You can let her go to say hi.
Okay, where you at? I don't want to step on you. Okay.
Well, I can definitely give you a call and see. How do you normally do your training schedules?
Oh, once you contact them, they have different packages and
Oh, I
stuff you
gotcha.
can
Okay.
choose from.
No worries.
I'm a contractor for them, so.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. You guys have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
So just explaining to her the same thing I'll explain to you guys. So their pup is also just a puppy, and working on developing social skills and not being so energetic and excited is just within her nature. Temperament wise, you can see that there's no hostility there. It's just that if she overwhelms another pup, and then they become defensive, that could cause an escalation. So that's where being in there early to intervene and trying to referee to calm the other pup down, seeing if that will help or if they'll just ignore you too, in which case you know that you're going to probably have a problem. So if things do escalate. But like I said, temperament wise, getting to see the interactions, it was perfectly fine. It was just the intensity and the excitement and everything, and except her being like an 8-month-old puppy too. Right? You just kind of take into consideration these things. It's easier for me said than done because I've seen a lot, right? And outside of having to kind of lifeguard dogs in a daycare setting for so long and being in dog parks for so long, you know kind of what to look for, what to be apprehensive of, what to be alert to, and what to actually be afraid of. A lot of times just having extra experience helps to discern when you should just be alert as to when you should be afraid, as to when you should be like, you know, relaxed, right?
Was she receptive to your...
Aw, good girl, you're okay. You get ran over. I know, we need a small dog parky for you. I always wish that when we come here, hopefully next time in the evening, there'll be some smaller pups for her to play with, because she's very friendly, but she just gets rolled over very easily, you know. Luckily she takes it like a champ, you know, and nobody means to hurt her or anything.
Sonah?
But this is just, right, and this is just one of those situations where it's just a size and strength discrepancy than anything else. I was trying to tell her too, she can go ahead and let her back off the lead so she can run around and play, because then that's how, you know, they either learn or we can learn to disrupt the behavior, and that the way they can learn those boundaries and how to work on them. But, you know, she said she was going to go anyways because they've been here for a couple hours.
Wow.
But it's just one of those things that, like, if you want things to get better, you have to actually take the opportunity and put the effort into, you know, making things better, right? It's not always going to be natural for certain pups, and different pups of different temperaments, especially at a dog park. You know, sometimes we'll need to intervene, sometimes we don't. A lot of times with the clients, we kind of step in a little bit too early, right? And we don't let them actually exercise their social skills. Whereas sometimes, like I said there, in that moment, I stepped in, but then I would step back out, you know, and redo it again to see if there's any difference or not. Because some pups will learn, some pups just don't. There you go.
So what do you do? So they start like you intervene right before they kind of got into it a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
You
Just
throw your bag at them, or do you get behind them and pull, or?
I just get in between the two, right? And the reason why I get in between is so that way I can also see who I need to defend and who I need to block against, right? Because it's not always apparent, especially when both dogs are becoming more and more intense or escalated, right? Resource guarding. So he's got food there that he kind of threw up from the treats. So I would either kick him, bury him, or move the other dog away so that way he doesn't snap at her like he did. But good to know, because now we know that he will do that. So we also know to, you know, either make sure he settles in all of his treats before going to the dog park and not eating like an hour before or something. But also if there's something up or somebody else throws up, to maybe remove him from the situation so that way he doesn't get into conflicts with anybody. Same here, right? If he's still smelling around, there's still that possibility.
So he will do that sometimes with one of my cats. One of my cats seems to like his dog food.
Yeah, so that's probably where he learned it from, because most resource guarding is for a reason. Most of the time they're just afraid of losing it, or they're just not comfortable with sharing. You can see that it's just that moment too, because he just snapped, she moved away, he didn't continue on, she didn't have, you know, a problem with it either. So that's also a good thing to note, right? There's lots of lessons that you can learn just by paying attention to all the interactions at a dog park. But going back to the other point, when because the situation itself, even though I have experience, the situation itself is so new. So the best thing I can do is close space in case I need to intervene, and then get in between the two pups. So if an escalation does happen, either one has to go through me, and I can more easily see who's going to be the aggressor and who's on the defensive. Most fights, there's always one way or the other, and the other one is trying to back off. The really bad ones are, of course, when both are the aggressors. And that can also just happen because of a defense mechanism. They feel threatened, and with most dogs, the best defense is a good offense.
You see more prevalent in some breeds than other breeds be more aggressive now?
No. When you get to sample size as much as I do, you learn that a lot of the stereotypes just don't exist. It's more so, I would say more so age and personality than breed.
Okay.
A lot of it, like I said, with the age, is just the fact that they haven't either had the opportunity to develop those social skills yet, or like a lot of shelter pups will be like 5 or 6, but they never got that opportunity either, so they're still technically young in that aspect. So it's not like age, but like experience age, I guess. As I said, some pups will just be naturally more ready to hold their ground. Some pups that are more scared actually are usually the ones that push forward more. And then the confident dogs are usually the ones that it glances off of.
Why do you think Sonah was barking at the gate as we came in?
Just because she was unsure or excited, and then the other dog was also intense, right? So it didn't help the situation. Same with Sage here, right? Because when we entered in, it was the same thing. He was already unsure and intense, and the other dog reciprocated, and so none of them were able to kind of calm themselves down, right? They're both going to be amping. Whoa, Sage.
Sage.
There we go. He's playing with the right side.
Oh, okay.
But that was good, though. You stepped in, right, in case he did rotate the other way, or in case the other dog didn't correct him or something like that, or the other dog didn't like being humped, causing an escalation. But yeah, the first step is to always close the gap if you're unsure of a situation. The second stage is to monitor, see what's going on. Here, we realize that there's not a problem, so we don't have to intervene. It's part of his a combination of his him being vocal, and then him also being a little bit of a herding dog. Because when I was watching him play with her the other day too, he'll run and kind of back jump and nip. Cici, there you go. Good. Your dog is very popular. Yeah. So that's another thing too, is if there's more than one dog playing with one dog at a time, it can cause, the third wheeling can cause escalations, because then the one dog is getting overwhelmed. Right? So that's where stepping in to kind of referee or give a break to, that way you can kind of see who they actually want to engage with and who's trying to force themselves into the fun, pretty much,
So that behavior by Sage, where he's trying to looks like he's trying to gnaw on the neck.
Mm-hmm. He does that with her too.
Is that's herding behavior?
Usually it's nipping on the heels, but because yeah, but because
Tucker, come here.
there you go, good. Good boy. Right? It's just more of his natural play style. He's not exerting enough force, but he's just more so being annoying about it, and you can tell he's not aggressive about it because he stops when being asked, as opposed to trying harder, right?
I think he's actually just hurting him.
Yeah.
Come on, Tucky, let's go. Come on. Oh, you're okay. You're good.
Sorry, should I be doing this?
Pros and cons. A lot of times it'll end up causing more focus on him. If you guys want to stay for longer, I need to work on him anyways.
Oh, it's okay.
And we can take him over to the other side because he is playing well with everybody else.
Oh, no, you're fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. So there would be a good example of either having him on like a longer lead to pull him back as soon as he would try to go up from the top, or, which is more convenient, is using the collar to vibrate as soon as he does that, right, to help disrupt the behavior. And it's more about timing than anything else because we want him to be able to run and play up until he does that, right? So if you time it correctly and you have either enough repetitions or something to kind of get him to understand that that's why it's happening, right? Which you need reps for because he has to go in and has to happen. It has to not be doing it. Then he has to go in and has to happen. Once he bridges that connection, then it can help with him discouraging that behavior.
I don't think his owner appreciated that.
As I said, that's why it's important to offer them. It's like the option of us just giving him a break or removing him or working with him, so that way they could stay, but they wanted to leave. Because I also said that everybody else was playing fine with their dog too. Just like pups, certain people are also more passive or aggressive than others, right? In terms of like conflict, most people don't want to work through it. They either want it to end or they want to avoid it.
Sage doesn't know how to play fetch. Sage will throw it to him about 2 times and he goes running off the opposite direction.
It seemed like he was interested in balls, so I'd like to see how it's something we can work on or not. Some pups it just comes naturally. Some other pups it doesn't.
Well, usually I'm throwing a stick to him, and he loves to chew sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Sonah has a ball at home that she really likes. I almost brought it, but I think that she might guard it if I brought it.
Maybe. If it has more personal value to her. But you can see here he's not doing the same thing to these other dogs. Part of it also is because her dog, even though they were correcting, were being overwhelmed by the other 3. But now with the introduction of the other dogs, the focus isn't all there. So that's another reason why you don't always have to leave a situation, just waiting 2 or 3 more minutes. We wouldn't even have that issue.
Right.
Or 1 more minute because they were literally leaving as they were coming in. And this is okay for us in general, but even humans will develop this habit too of like that negative stigma of the dog park having either uncontrolled pets or aggressive situations or problems happening, is because instead of working through it, we end off on a bad note. That's why even when I'm out with pups, if she gets rolled or if there's some sort of conflict, trying to give them a break if necessary, and then seeing if it can get resolved or not, but always trying my best to leave on a good note, right, with the pup in mind and the situation, so that way that's the last thought they're taking when they leave, as opposed to carrying a negative situation back out with them. And like I said, it's something that unfortunately happens more often than not, because that's when people will leave, is whenever a situation starts to become negative, right? And we had one pup before that was also smaller, and she was very scared, but giving her a break, and then because she got overwhelmed, she started screaming, and it caused more dogs to come and close in on her. Instead of leaving, we gave her a break and holding, let everybody calm back down, and then let her go back out to see that those pups weren't a threat, right? And so instead of just leaving when she's unsure and traumatized and promoting that fear, we're able to help her conquer through the fear just by allowing her the opportunity to see that there's nothing bad happening. She was just scared and overwhelmed. It's most of the time, like I said, easier said than done, and I don't blame people, but it can end up making situations worse. Bones was actually a good example of that too, because he was attacked when he was younger. His family kept him away from other pups, understandably, right, to avoid any future conflict. But in turn, what that ended up doing was breeding another pup that really lacked social skills and confidence and security, and so was also hence then reactive.
Yeah, I don't come in here unless you're here. It's not bringing her.
I don't see why. She was doing just fine.
I guess because I never know who might come in that might be aggressive.
So you can kind of see, especially now, if she had stayed, she would be able to have a much better positive outlook on both Sage and her experience in general. Didn't have to do anything different, except for maybe give Sage more of a break as soon as it was happening. But he was correcting him pretty well too when he was snapping at him, and Sage was listening. And sometimes it's just that learning process that especially puppies need. Right, they need to be snapped at usually by another dog, so that way they can stop annoying them. Most of the time, like with her and the Pity, it's just that they want to play and that they're excited, and that's just how they play. They have two options: they either play with their mouth or they play with their paws. It doesn't always look the best to us, and it really just depends on how the other pup is taking it. And they were taking it well. Like I said, I think it was more so the third wheeling that was part of the problem anyways, that they were just overwhelmed, because if it was just him and Sage, he could focus on just correcting Sage, right, and then playing like they did for a while when it looked like he was humping him, right? But because you have the two other dogs that want to run and play too, that can cause the other pup to be overwhelmed. We always end up focusing on the one biggest point of a problem, but sometimes it's like the sum of the situation that is actually causing the conflict. And I've had pet parents before too that just don't want their dog to have to correct another dog, right? They're afraid that that's what's going to cause an escalation or scene or something like that. And I get that too. It'd be great if every situation just played out perfectly. And when you're in a park for enough of a sample size, you'll know that that's more often than not the case. Like right now, time-wise, between incidents that were pretty extreme or uncomfortable to times where the dogs have been able to kind of just run around and play nicely, it's a vastly larger number in our eyes of the good, calm side. Whereas with the other people, it's going to be a much shorter instance too. And so when your instance is also shorter, more of that time at the dog park seems negative to you.
Catch a ball.
bring it back.
Like I said, sometimes it comes naturally to others. Fiona will do it, Lilo won't. That's why Lilo doesn't get to come to the dog park even though she can go to daycare.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she'll just take every ball that the dogs are trying to play with and she'll hoard them in the corner and then she'll snap at dogs that try to take her balls. If it's a big enough ball, she'll just hurt it like a herding dog. But if it's small, she just wants to hold onto it and guard it. Right? So here you can see that that's just his play style and behavior. When she's
play with it if it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. But you'll see if she does start running, he's going to go back towards that same spot, right? That's just what he does. He's not doing it out of malicious intent or anything like that. That's just how he plays. And that's how he's learned to engage. And if you probably watch him at daycare, that's probably what he does all the time. But they're either more used to it, right? Or the other dog isn't being overwhelmed by other playmates at the same time. And so they're able to kind of reciprocate more like Cici was there. Right?
Yes, that's. I watched. They have photos and videos they post on Instagram
Mhm.
when they're at daycare, and yeah, I've seen that because
Right? So there's the heel nip. And there's the back neck. She also doesn't let him do it as much because she's also facing him more, right? She's not just running away. She runs away, but then as soon as he catches up, she turns around. Guaranteed, if she just kept running away and he caught up, he would just do one of those two things. So sometimes it is just how two dogs will play together. Good girl. Poor Duchess. She always wants to play with everybody, but she always needs a smaller playmate that never is around. Good job.
good boy. That's my good boy. I mean, he's been doing a good job coming in, check in with me, and then he goes off and plays. Yeah, you've been doing.
We worked on that all day yesterday with her as well.
I'm sorry, I should have brought more treats with me. You have 10 times. You have like 20 packages at home.
And so now when you have his attention, you can also do what we did yesterday and practice heel work, having him walk beside you and then sitting and then giving him a treat.
If I had a treat.
You can just say good boy or I can give you some.
I have some.
There you go.
You can just break them into smaller pieces.
There you go.
I recognize this. This is one of my cat's favorite tricks. Like, my cat will like do spins and circles for this.
Well, there you go.
DJ turned me on to that. She loves it.
Yeah, a lot of the pups do. Good job. Oh,
Pull that out when a squirrel or garbage truck comes. Pull out the big chicken.
Sonah.
right? So you need to close the gap to help Sonah redirect back to you because you know that there's resources in play there.
They're like birds, seagulls when they're here. Cici, come. Cici, want a treat? Come here. Sonia, you want a treat? Want one? That's right. You'd be surprised how cold it doesn't fix. We used to not be able to say walk, and then we started saying, gotta take her around. Well, she knows that now. So
She's
they
very
learn.
smart.
They learn.
Oh, good job.
Good job. Yeah, that's it.
Sonah.
All done.
Sonah. Hey,
That's
where's
okay.
your ball?
Those are pretty.
Where's your ball?
All done. Yeah.
Where's your ball? Look at your ball.
Okay. And this is how you can get good practice with him following you even through other distractions. Kind of like what we did at the shopping center on the leash, but now even off leash with other dogs running around and playing.
I think you're only here for the treats.
And what I would do, especially if he's that focused, is just walk around a little bit more before rewarding him. Like really extending that time that he either has to hold his focus, or once he loses it, recalling him back, doing the exercise, then giving him the treat, and then telling him to go off and play again or something. There you go. Hi, Cici. Hi, Cici. Hello. Well, hello. Hello. Oh, you being a good girl too? You being a good girl too, Miss Duchess? Oh, of course you are. Sit. Wait. Good. Good recovery. Here, I'll go ahead and call Duchess to me. Duchess! 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 She's too focused on you to hear. Duchess! Come. Good girl, yes. Hello. Yeah, when you tell him to go or be free and play, just ignore him. Just start walking away. Like you said, just ignore him. Yeah, eventually he'll detach. He'll find something else to be interested in. Duchess, come. Good girl. Good listen. Down. Good down. Good down. This way. Good girl. Yes. Good. With me. Good. Wait. Very good. Hi, Miss Cici. Sit. Thank you. Duchess, come. Good girl. With me. Duchess. Wait. Sit. Good. With me. Good. There you go. Oh. Good girl. With me. Down. Yes. Down. Yes. Good girl. Thank you. Hi, Miss Sonah.
Sonah.
Wait.
Hey. No.
Here you go. Wait. Gentle. Gentle. Good. There you go. Sonah's like, where's the pup? Some people just kind of stop by to say hi. I've seen it before a lot with bringing their kids that they're They're trying to get them used to dogs, or trying to see how they would do with dogs if they're scared. It's another way to kind of get children used to not being afraid of pups too when you don't have them at home.
Come here and get your dog fix and don't want me like a baby.
Exactly. It's a lot less work.
Yeah, it is a commitment. Say unconditional love.
Should probably preface the video also by by saying that because I'm also used to having to work dogs through conflict, I'm probably more patient than most. And a lot of owners that come to the dog parks, you know, they're not trying to deal with that per se, whereas on a daily basis it's my job to deal with it, right? So it's also a difference in perspective. And like you said, I get it, I understand. That's why I always try to communicate with people, especially if they feel threatened or they feel like they have to leave, trying to let them know that they don't, and you know, we can give the other dog a break or something too.
Got somebody with new attention now, huh?
Aww.
Where's Flynn today? They couldn't make it?
No, him and his mom had plans.
Oh, they had plans.
Yeah. And this is probably why, kind of like with Lilo, he does okay at daycare, because they also don't have resources to guard out. Like, you know, that most of them don't even allow balls. Bubbles are okay because they're temporary, but I've seen pups even kind of get possessive or guarding of those things that come up. And then with food, they always separate them as well. There's no treats in the room. So
What was that?
that's why certain places work better for certain pups.
So yeah, no, they only put water out for them, and then they separate them because everybody has different food.
Mhm.
They separate them when they feed them.
Yeah.
Where do you go to daycare?
Right over at Four Paws, over on Barron Park Road.
Nobody will take Sonah because she's not fixed yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he had to be fixed pretty early.
What she is, though. Oh, there you go. I like how Cici's like, me too. Oh, good boy.
Yeah, you're a good boy.
So you see he already like checks in on her moving in, right? Because he's afraid of her getting the treat and not him.
I don't have a treat, but you're being a good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy. Look at you.
Well, it looks like somebody made a friend over here. Hi.
They're matching, that's why.
Oh, the pink on pink.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. How you guys doing? Good. You make a friend, Miss Duchess?
She's very sweet.
I was wondering where she was for a second there. Oh, good girl. She loves people. She loves pups too, but sometimes there's not small ones to play with here.
You're so cute.
Good girl. Hi, Miss Sonah. Hi, Miss Sonah. Hi, Miss Cici. Hi, Mr. Sage.